Imagine being so strong you could strangle a snake in your crib and still spend your adult life basically doing other people's chores, which included slaying monsters like the Nemean lion and Lernaean Hydra, capturing the Ceryneian Hind and Erymanthian Boar, cleaning the Augean stables, stealing the mares of Diomedes and the cattle of Geryon, obtaining the belt of Hippolyta and the golden apples of the Hesperides, and capturing the Stymphalian birds, and capturing Cerberus. That's Hercules for you, the strongest man in mythology, but also the most overworked. Hello everyone. Tonight, we're beginning a long, slow journey into the life of Hercules, or if you prefer the more scholarly version, Heracles. But let's be honest, Hercules is easier to say when you're half asleep, so that's what we'll call him. Now you probably know the headlines. He killed monsters, lifted mountains, did 12 impossible labors, classic myth stuff. But tonight, we're not rushing to the action. Instead, we're going to drift into the messy, tragic, and oddly domestic background of this so-called hero. Because before Hercules ever faced his famous labors, he had to survive his own family drama. And when your family involves Zeus and Hera, drama doesn't even begin to cover it. So, get comfortable, dim the lights, and let's drift into the strange, chaotic childhood of the world's most famous demigod. Like so many Greek myths, Hercules' story begins with Zeus being, well, Zeus, king of the gods, had two hobbies, throwing lightning bolts and chasing women. Married to Hera, queen of the gods, but perpetually incapable of fidelity. One day, Zeus set his eyes on Alcmene, a mortal woman. To seduce her, he disguised himself as her husband, Amphitryon, who just so happened to be away on campaign. Because what's more romantic than your lover showing up a little early? Except it wasn't her husband. It was Zeus in disguise, classic divine catfishing. From that night came Hercules, and right away you can imagine Hera's reaction. She wasn't about to knit baby booties. She was furious, not at Zeus, oh no, he got away as usual, but at the innocent child. And that grudge, it lasted Hercules' entire life. Hera tried to get rid of him early. According to the myths, one night she slipped two giant snakes into the baby's crib, probably thinking, well, that's the end of that. But little Hercules, maybe 6 months old, sat up, grabbed the snakes, and strangled them with his chubby baby fists. Imagine being Alcmene, coming in the next morning to check on your child and finding him giggling while holding two dead serpents like rattles. Definitely a foreshadowing moment. The gods, of course, noticed. Word spread quickly. This boy was destined for greatness, or at least for very odd babysitting reports. As Hercules grew, so did his reputation. He was tall, broad, and terrifyingly strong, even for a demigod. He had that peasant strong vibe. Big hands, messy hair, a little too rough around the edges. Think less polished Greek statue, more the guy in your village you'd definitely ask to help move a couch. Teachers tried to civilize him. He was taught music by Linus, a local instructor. That ended when Hercules got frustrated with a lesson, picked up a lyre, and hit his teacher over the head with it. Linus died instantly, not exactly the Student of the Year award. After that, people quietly agreed. Maybe this boy was better suited to outdoor sports. So, Hercules learned wrestling, archery, and driving chariots. He was good at all of it, but his real skill was raw strength. He could wrestle grown men into the dirt, bend weapons, and once killed a lion in his teenage years, before the official lion job ever showed up. But remember, Hera wasn't done with him. She struck Hercules with bouts of madness, like cruel divine lightning strikes to his brain. And in one of those dark moments, Hercules committed the tragedy that would define his adult life. He killed his own wife and children. It's grim, yes, but myths are full of grimness. What mattered was what came after. Hercules, devastated when he recovered his senses, needed purification. He needed a way to balance the scales. In Greek terms, you couldn't just say sorry and move on. You had to suffer. you had to atone. So he turned to the oracle at Delphi for guidance, and the oracle told him, "Serve King Eurystheus, your cousin, for 12 years. Do whatever he commands. Complete the impossible tasks he assigns. Only then will you find redemption." And that's where the famous 12 labors enter the story. Eurystheus was not exactly a towering figure. He was a minor king, nervous, petty, and absolutely delighted to discover he had Hercules as his new employee. Imagine the smallest, most insecure manager at your workplace suddenly getting to boss around the strongest man alive. That's Eurystheus. He didn't just want Hercules to work. He wanted him humiliated, exhausted, and ideally dead. So the labors he devised weren't just chores. They were designed to break him, kill the unkillable beast, clean the uncleanable stables, steal things from gods, monsters, and kings. All while Hera cheered from the sidelines, hoping Hercules would finally fail. And Hercules, poor guy, sighed, tightened his lion-skin cloak, and went off to do the work. Now, sure, you could look at this as just mythology. Just bedtime stories the Greeks told each other about monsters and heroes. But Hercules' labors are more than that. They're symbolic of human struggle, endurance, and the eternal feeling that life keeps throwing us impossible errands. You finish one thing, and your boss, or maybe just fate, hands you another, one labor after another. And like Hercules, most of us just keep going, because what else can you do? So we're going to drift slowly through those labors, one by one, no rush. Each will be another strange little chore in the cosmic to-do list of Hercules. But for now, just remember, he wasn't born a hero. He was born into chaos. He was raised in anger, and he lived under the weight of a curse that wasn't even his fault. Next time we float forward, Hercules will face his first official assignment, the Nemean lion. But let's not jump ahead. Let's rest here, with Hercules standing at the edge of his great ordeal, unaware that his name is about to become legend.